we're going to look at about releasing muscles and sort of how you do that and the thinking behind releasing muscles and the big problem of actually how do you relax? You know, the art of relaxation. So there's a few things you need to know about anatomy, I suppose. And the first one is that a muscle has two ends. Yeah, it's not unobvious. It's got, I think we touched on this last week. It's got the origin and the insertion. And so let's say that we've got a muscle here on the arm, which I probably may have did last week. So here's the elbow joint, here's the wrist joint, and the muscle actually overlaps beyond the joint. Okay, so that's the way a muscle works. It's got two ends and it overlaps onto the joint before it and after it. So that when you tighten a muscle, it actually controls the outside edges of the other outsides of that particular bone here. So I'm trying to control, I'm using this bone to make that happen. To make that happen, it tightened here from here up to here. It's not that high, by the way. It's only just overlapped slightly. And so you get that action. So we have, I'm not entirely very convinced by my rather strange muscle here. So this is some weird device I have in my home, which is, I think it's for navigating on ships. I think it is for maps. It's got sort of rollers on the bottom, and you roll it across a map, I think. But probably this is from the war. This is very old. So my father-in-law, who was a commander on the Belfast, actually. And so we've got a muscle here, right, on the front. So I'll say I'm not quite sure about this. I've got a rolling pin here as well because I wasn't sure which one to use. So this was quite good in a way, simply because there's the body of the muscle from, say, here to here. Okay, and forget the black bit there, which is actually a cog. So forget that bit. And so the muscles would say start from here to here. So you can see the end of the muscle carries beyond, yeah? So this would be the ligament up here, and this would be the tendon, which would overlap slightly, and it has fibers which go into the muscle, both ends, same both ends, right? So what we want to do is we want to relax this muscle. Say it's really tense. And what you need to do is you need to try and relax the ends of the muscle which go beyond the actual limb that the muscle's sitting on. So for example, here's the bit of here's the limb that it's sitting on, the part of the limb, and it's going beyond, say to there and up to here. So this is the bit we need to kind of relax. So if you've got your arm in front of you, for example, and you feel your arm here, so feel that muscle. So I think this one on the thumb side is called, I can't remember very clearly, I think it's the brachioradialis, but I might be wrong about that. So this chunky muscle here on the top, okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to just try relaxing this muscle, but relax it up beyond the elbow. And then when you've done that, relax it beyond the wrist. So you need to sort of be conscious of those two areas, right? Okay, so this is the principle to relaxing a muscle. And I've had so many people in classes say, how do I relax my neck? Okay, so a little, as I said last week, I believe, a little bit of help or understanding anatomy, it helps a little bit if you understand a bit about anatomy, so how muscles connect together to various other bits of your body, because then you know which bits to relax, you know where to think about relaxation. So the arm's easiest because, if we talk about the neck, I've got my back to you and it's very awkward. So what we need to do is back on the whatever this device is called. So here's the muscle. We need to relax the body of the muscle here, yeah? And we need to try doing this by relaxing here and here. Okay, so don't think I need that anymore. So there are ways of relaxing muscles beyond this. This is more an osteopathic technique. And no, I don't think it's an Alexander technique. I think it's particularly osteopathic. So let's say you've got cramp in your foot, okay, which is moderately common, isn't it? So you get a cramp in the sole of your foot. So let's say this is my foot. We'll stick with the arm because it's easiest. Now, there's a way to relieve cramp in your foot, which basically means that the muscle has gone into spasm. In other words, the two ends are really doing this. They're pulling together. The whole thing's tightened and tightened the body of the muscle as well. So it's transferred its problem, excess tightness, into the body of the muscle also here as well. Too tight there, too tight here. The body of the muscle then is doing this. Okay, the body of the muscle tightens. So what you can do if you get a cramp anywhere, and particularly good on the back of the calf here, yeah, if you get cramp there or in the ankle or on the sole of the foot, is what you do is you put your thumb on the middle of the muscle, right smack bang in the middle, and you press deeply into it. You press as hard as you can, which can hurt like hell, but you do it. Yeah. So what you're in effect doing is you're trying to lengthen that muscle by using a physical stimulation, which is your thumb or fingers. You know, you can grip like this. It doesn't really matter. You can grip it and you press deep into the body of the muscle. So if you think about what's going on here, this is like you've got this tight rope, you know, here, this from here it is, from here to here. It's really taut. So we need to stretch that muscle. And we need to help by stretching it. We help. It's like pressing down on a hammock and it stretches. The two ends stretch out, you know, and the whole thing lengthens slightly. So when you dig your fingers in here and you press deep into the muscle, it's a bit irrelevant if you haven't got any arm pain at the moment, but you get the idea. What you're doing is you're kind of stretching your hammock of your muscle. And then when you and the key is very slowly let go. So you press in deeply and then you really slowly let go. And you relax. Try and just relax whilst you do that as much as you possibly can. So the idea here is that, let's say you've got a neck pain, you've got a really stiff neck. You woke up this morning with a stiff neck. So what you do is you can press your fingers deep into the worst place you can find, the most painful part of it. And you really press your finger in. Just do it on your own neck now. So you dig your fingers in, say back here, whether I haven't got a neck pain, but I dig my fingers in. So now I'm kind of stretching that hammock of that muscle which goes, and I don't necessarily need to know where the beginning and the end is with this technique. And then I release really slowly. And as I do so, I feel the release, because by feeling the release, it puts your mind into that particular point, which helps you to let go. So this definitely works extremely well on people with cramp in their feet. I've used it on lots of my students many times when they got cramp in a class. I get them to sit down, dig my thumb and they go, you know, and then you very slowly release and it's gone. It goes really quickly. Maybe a couple of times you need to do it, it disappears. So the point is of all this that the muscle has got two ends. Say I'm up here and you put your fingers behind the back of your head here. You find you've got this bony protuberance there sticking out just behind your ear. It's your mastoid process. And attached to that are lots of little muscles which run down into the neck. There's some long ones as well. Your trapezius, for example, runs down there. And if you can relax here, let's say you've got a tense neck again, because I could probably do some of this without. So if you find the mastoid process, okay, I have to have my back to you. So here's the mastoid process for me there, that bony protrusion. If I just go underneath, I'm now pressing on the tendon of that mastoid process. So it doesn't have to be the middle of the body of the muscle, but it helps. It's actually fractionally better because the middle of the muscle will affect both ends. Whereas if I just went under the mastoid process, it only affects one end. Not that that isn't valuable, it is, but it does work better. Okay, so when we're moving and when we are trying to relax a muscle, we need to be conscious of trying to relax the ends. Okay, so that's a problem because if you don't know where the ends are, then it's very difficult to relax the ends. So we have this English language thing which says just relax or release. And it's very unhelpful, actually, in many ways. So because you don't know how to do it.